do want to touch on something you said earlier in that comment, and that was the FEMA controversy. A FEMA employee in Florida, your state, was fired after directing staffers to skip houses with Trump signs. What's your thoughts on this? Because she did react to this. She said that this was a misunderstanding, essentially, and that, quote, "we omitted these homes for safety precautions, not because of political plight." What do you make of this? You're shaking your head.
I think she's trying to save face, and I think that she's very concerned about a criminal investigation. I will take my county specifically, Pinellas. We lost 13 people, and so to have someone go and literally put into text message and make actual comments to the contractors, which she did, this is all evidence that's been put out there, that she was knowingly telling people not to approach homes that had Trump signs. That is completely unacceptable. You know, for someone like this, again, I mean, we've been saying this for a while. We suspected that there were bigger issues in North Carolina as well in regards to FEMA response. The White House largely denied that. We're now also hearing from that same video that she was speculating that this was, or she was stating that this was a larger issue. I do think that this government under Biden and Kamala Harris's administration was partisan and weaponized against the American people. That's wrong. Your taxpayers go into this. Why do people get to decide who and who they do not help? I think it's basically criminal, mainly because people lost so much. People lost their homes, and then who knows how many people that she impacted, how high this went up, and that's why we're launching a full investigation. I actually have the head of FEMA coming into oversight next week to testify, so we'll be asking questions.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because storm damage obviously doesn't pick whether you're Republican or Democrat. Disaster relief should obviously be nonpartisan. So what's next here? The FEMA representative is coming in. What do you want to learn from that hearing? What do you think should happen?
First of all, I'm so disappointed because I talked to FEMA directly after I met with Joe Biden, and they seem to be so helpful. And I've actually met this woman before. And then so to have this happening in their department, you know, the military will teach you one thing. I'm a veteran. Complete and total ownership and responsibility. I would say that it's not enough to just fire that woman who is responsible for discriminating against Americans based on their political beliefs. They need to open up an investigation. That woman, mind you, also claimed that this was a larger issue at FEMA and that this wasn't just an isolated incident. So I think that there needs to be a complete overhaul of FEMA, whether or not that's blind appointment for when people actually go. I mean, whether or not they're bringing in people out of state, that maybe someone's assigned a number that you're not actually treated like partisan affiliation, and that's how they will handle the case and then require those people to submit documentation so the inspectors maybe don't have to go out and then that incident can't happen again. I mean, but there does need to be a reform and overhaul in general, and I do look forward to President Trump's FEMA director because I think that person is going to have a big task at hand.
Was this surprising to you, because you met President Biden, you worked with him, you even complimented him on social media during this storm recovery. Was this surprising to you to find out?
Oh, massively surprising. Again, though, when I was up in North Carolina with President Trump during his town hall, we had already been getting reports from our service members that were part of the Florida Guard out there stating that FEMA was blocking them from being able to help North Carolina residents during the storm recovery. And as you know, there were many deaths in North Carolina. They are still recovering. It was devastated. And so for us to hear that and then to have the interaction with Biden, he said, you know, my office will help out. You have the complete federal government at your disposal. And then to see that people at FEMA took it upon themselves to make decisions. I don't even know how high up that decision-making process went, but that they would feel comfortable enough to do that. I mean, it was horrifying. It's still horrifying. That's why we have the director coming in to testify.